The following program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision. It's time now for the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Here's your host for the program, Joseph J. Zoppi.
Hi, welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, a real estate investor, consumer advocate, author, and managing partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. I'm recording this from my home, so please excuse the acoustics on this. I don't have a regular recording studio, so please bear with me. I don't know if I've said this in some of my other broadcasts, but I was recording from home as well for those. So again, please excuse the acoustics. You could reach us at templarcashforhouses.com or call us at 973-315-7990. And we can answer any questions you may have or email us from our website. If you want a certain topic discussed, we'll be more than happy to address it. But please just drop us a line or send us an email on that. My company is a real estate investment firm. We buy houses for cash. We purchase apartment buildings. We do joint ventures with other real estate investors. We loan money for rehabs and provide transactional or gap funding. We work with individuals that want to invest with us in single-family homes, all the way up to apartment buildings and complexes. Do not speculate. We're very protective of our money and our investors' money. I'm not a real estate agent. I have individuals on staff that are agents, but if you want to sell your house through the traditional method, we could list it on the multiple listing service. But again, we're not a brokerage. This show will go over everything there is about real estate and those things that impact real estate. We'll talk about our rehabs, some of our investments, what we went through, what we did not do especially well, and how we learned from it. We talk about the economy, interest rates. We'll talk about trends in real estate market. Real estate is one of your biggest investments, so it's important that you know as much as possible about that. I'm going to provide my opinion. It's only my opinion. I ask everyone to do research. I always say, no matter who is providing the information to you, whether it's an attorney, a CPA, or any other individual, please look very carefully at researching it. If you read certain articles, those articles are those opinions of that person. It's not necessarily the truth. You don't know. You need to look at different avenues in terms of researching these things to really get the full picture. We are also having discussions on real estate in terms of individuals that want to call us. If you're worried about keeping your house, please give us a call. These are all free of charge. So we're not paying, you don't have to pay us for any of this. So if you're concerned about losing your house now or, in the future, please give us a call. We might be able to help you, just provide some certain suggestions on how to approach this. Right now, obviously there are no evictions, there are no foreclosures, and a number of governors, including Murphy, Cuomo, and a few others, have enforced that. For FHA, that as well throughout the country. So that's at a standstill. So everybody has some breathing room, but obviously things can come up pretty quickly once things come back to normal or semi-normal. I was interviewed last week for Fox Business. The article is "The Best Time to Sell Your Second Home." So I was interviewed there. You could see that on the internet, and it'll eventually be posted on our website. Today I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk about the market a little bit, And the second is the CARES Act, which is really super important. So, as I've stated previously, I'm not a big fan of the market, but I think it's very important that I talk about the market in terms of what's going on and where it's going. But again, these are my opinions. If you look out, there are certain individuals saying it's the best time to buy, and there's other ones saying just ease up a little bit. We have to wait till things shake out. And I'm more towards the let's wait and see and, see what shakes out. Today, which is Friday, which is this recording, the stock market is up right now. But I think we're going to be in for some rough times once people go back to work and businesses come back online. My suggestion is, it's only my opinion, is that the market will come down again. I would not be greedy, and I would pick a point at which you're happy if this market is going up, which it is, and possibly sell. And I don't have a crystal ball. I could be wrong, but personally, what they say, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in a bush. If you say you're going to be a long-term investor and you want to keep it in, that's great. Excellent. Each person really needs to look at their own risk tolerance and what they're looking at for the future. I'm not one that likes the market, so you need to understand that, where I'm coming from. Also, you can put what I strongly recommend. If you can stay in the market, you can put certain alerts on your holdings. So if you're using, there's a lot of free apps out there, as well as if you're using like TD Ameritrade or things like that, where you could put an alert on when a particular stock or mutual fund goes above or below a particular number. And it'll alert you, it'll send you a text message, email, or a combination thereof. And I think that's really important. Sometimes in talking to a lot of other individuals, is that all of a sudden the market comes down and either they're not paying attention to it, or they realize, like, holy mackerel, it's gone down this much already. And if you do a few things that are proactive, at least you could say, okay, if it reaches to this point, I'm going to call my broker up, or I'm going to call my financial advisor up and, say, okay, let's liquidate my holdings, or let's keep it in. Now, financial advisors a lot of times like to keep things in. They don't want you in really a cash position a lot of times, but sometimes that's the best thing to do. And, another thing is you could have these discussions with your financial advisor. So you could say, at what point, if it falls below a certain percentage, I'm going to sell. And then you're in control of it, instead of it just, going down like 20, 30%, and then, biting your tongue and waiting for it to go back up. So I'm not into that approach at all. A lot of financial advisors are, and they'll say, well, just ride it out over the long term. And I just never thought about it like that. Maybe in the past I did, and I got brutalized a few times on the market because of that. But, after looking at things, I question that approach. And I think it's for the best. If you have an understanding of where you'd want to sell, then at least you're in control. And I think that's the biggest thing, is to be in control. That's just the way it is. So with the market and where it's going to rebound, there's a lot of questions about that. And they're talking about the market is going to rebound, and the approaches or the scenarios is going to be either a V-shaped recovery, a U-shaped, recovery or an L-shaped recovery. So if we look at each letter, so a V, so if you could picture a V, you see it goes straight down and then goes straight up. So they're saying possibly the economy will go that way. It'll come straight down and then shoot right up. Okay. Now the other one is a U-shaped economy. So it'll go down, it'll stay down for a while and then come back up. So just like a shape of a U. The last one is an L-shaped recovery, where basically it goes down and then goes flat or it's low for a considerable period of time. You know, the question really becomes, nobody really knows. You know, one of the things that is, you know, in place is the bailouts and to help the economy through what the Congress has put through. And I think that is really, really important. You know, back in 2008, the feds and Obama wanted to, in terms of the recovery, is basically based on monetary, which was the Fed reducing interest rates, and also the government giving certain bailouts or certain loans and bailouts to large companies. And that was it. And I think what's going on now is with the Trump administration and Congress together, they have put a package together that says that they're not only doing monetary, but fiscal also. So it's not only large companies are getting bailed out and being helped, and not only are interest rates being reduced, but all these different programs are being implemented so the regular mom and pop business and person as well could be helped. So they're tackling it from two approaches, and I think that's great. You know, when it did come out and they were talking about the numbers, it was like $2 trillion. And, you know, it was good that they were reacting quickly. But, you know, the one question I had is that enough? It's, you know, it was very early. They made an estimate. Now they're looking at it again saying, well, maybe it wasn't enough. And I think, you know, that's something that's important to look at. And they might have to have maybe a second and a third. I would not be surprised at that, but they are working very hard to push the economy and make sure that it gets jump-started very quickly. Now, obviously, the way the environment is now from an economic perspective was a lot different than back in 2008, granted. But I think in 2008, if they had put more money into the people's pockets to accelerate the growth, it would have been for the positive like they're doing now. So the second half of this segment, I'm going to be talking about the stimulus package and what's involved in it. And I think it's an extremely powerful package. I think it could help a lot of people. And, you know, there's a lot of upside to it. So I'm going to take a break right now, and I'll be right back. This is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner for Templar Real Estate Enterprises and TemplarCashForHouses.com. Felt this is important, so I am recording this message from my home to all listeners. In this time of uncertainty and anxiety, my staff and I are here to help. We're here to provide private phone consultations free of charge. The first is for those individuals that feel they might eventually lose their house and need some advice on how to possibly save it. Second, as always, we're here for those that need to sell their house fast and need cash immediately. And the last, if you need steady or deferred income and you are looking for an alternative to the stock market, we can show you how to partner with us even in these uncertain times. You can reach us at 973-240-8593. That is 973-250-8593. Or sign up TemplarCanHelp.com. That is TEMPLAR canhelp.com. Thank you very much. Hi, welcome back to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, and I'm Managing Partner for Templar Real Estate Enterprises. So first thing I'd like to do is talk about first responders and restaurants. So my son, I'm very proud of him. He's a third year nursing student and on the first aid squad. So he's really in the picking up a number of the coronavirus victims. They're transporting them to hospitals. So, I'm very proud of him and what he's doing. And in June, he's going to be starting at a hospital doing an internship. So he's going to be really in the lion's den with that. And, he's 19 years old or 20 years old. I keep thinking he's younger than he is, but he's still pretty young. But the other thing I wanted to say in relationship to the first responders and restaurants is that, a number of these restaurants are just getting clobbered. There's really hardly any business, even with the takeout. It's only so much if you really understand business and overhead. And if a business is not used to doing massive amounts of takeout, it's a big wear on them. But with that being said, that even though a number of these restaurants are really getting hit financially very hard, a number of them are, giving everything they got. My son's first aid squad gets donations constantly from different restaurants and businesses for food. They, bring over food for them, and it's unbelievable. It's just so giving of these people and their business to help the first responders out. So, it's really just unbelievable to see that. And if you think about a restaurant, most restaurateurs, they don't get rich owning a restaurant for the most part. But they do it, because they love food. And I think they do it also because they like to show, to give that food to people and, see their joy when they're eating. So, that's the type of people are in restaurants and that own restaurants and those chefs. And, it's a big part of who they are. So I got to take my hat off to them. And even though they're down on their knees, they're still giving. So if you could, go to a restaurant just for takeout, or they could drop it off, as long as it's safe, I truly encourage that. We had one place I go, they reduced their fee on their sandwiches for to go, and I was like, well, why are you doing that? So I said, no, I want to pay the full price, and then obviously I gave a great tip. But these people always want to give, and it's just really a testament to who these people are, these restaurateurs, and as well as the first responders in terms of what they have to do nowadays to put their life on the line for this against this virus. So what I'd like to talk about now, which is really important, I think everybody should be researching this because it's really, really important. I've been telling a lot of people about it, a lot of individuals that I know about this, and that's the CARES Act. So that was it was implemented by Congress, put into place, and obviously with the president working on it. And it stands for the Coronavirus Aid and Economic Security Act. And it's something that you should really, really look into if you're any type of business, if you're a contractor, a sole proprietor, any of those, this can help you out. And it's very, very fairly generous in terms of a lot of different features within these packages. So the first one is, and you could get all this information online, just look for CARES or SBA, SBA Small Business Administration, I think it is. it's really important that you look at this because this could really help you out personally and for your business. So it goes either way, for your business or personally. So the first one is the Paycheck Protection Program. So there's like 4 programs. So the first one is the Paycheck Protection Program. It's an SBA loan that helps businesses keep their workforce employed during the coronavirus crisis. So what it entails is the SBA, so that's a small business authority, will provide loans. And they provide loans usually through different banks. And we've never really applied for those. It was just, sometimes they were just a pain in the neck, but they've loosened up a lot of the standards. The Congress has really did a good job with that. So it's extremely, extremely easy to qualify. So the SBA will forgive loans to employers if you keep employees on the payroll for 8 weeks during this time. And if these loans are going to be used for a couple things. They can be used for payroll, rent, mortgage interest, or utilities. And you can apply through existing SBA 7A lenders. Those are a lot of the different banks, things like that, or through federally insured depository institutions, federally insured credit unions, farm credit system. So there's a number of different means and where you could get these. Other regulated lenders as well will be available to make these loans once they are approved and you're enrolled in the program. And you should consult with your local lender as to whether you could participate, but it's fairly lenient. Lenders will be processing them as soon as possible. I've heard some people have already received these loans. On the larger banks, they're taking considerably longer, but if you have a small institution you're working with, it could go fairly quickly. Okay, and it's for any small business concern that meets SBA size standards, and usually that's 500 employees or less. Okay, it's any business that's a 501c3, which is a nonprofit, a 501c19, which is a veteran organization, or some tribal businesses. And again, this is for sole proprietors, independent contractors, and self-employed persons. Okay, so if you have a mortgage and it's going to be used, when you have a business and you want to keep staff on, you could use this to ensure that your staff is paid. And eventually, depending on the situation, it can be forgiven. And that's a big thing. So the loan will be fully forgiven if the funds are used for payroll costs, interest on mortgage, rent, and utilities. Okay, but 75% of that will be used for payroll. 75% needs to be used for payroll. The other 25% could be for mortgage interest, so on and so forth. And the loans will be deferred for 6 months, which is good. So it'll give you time to get out of this crazy time. And there's no collateral or personal guarantees required. But it will be forgiven if you follow those things. Now, if you don't follow them to the letter, then the maturity is 2 years and the interest rate is 1%, which is that's, as they say, free money, basically. So that's really, really important. Next one is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Emergency Advance. So it's an advancement. So this loan advances will provide up to $10,000 of economic relief to businesses that are currently experiencing temporary difficulties. So again, if you apply for this, you could get $10,000 as long as you qualify for it. And there's not much for a qualification. So it's, as I said, it's called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Advance, which will advance you up to $10,000. It's a relief to businesses that are currently experiencing a temporary loss of revenue, and the funds will be made available upon the successful application. Those applications, the initial application can take literally 10 minutes. We've filled out ones ourselves for all our different businesses. So we have a lot of options in terms of what we're doing, in terms of our rentals, in terms of our core business, in terms of our property management company, so on and so forth. So I would strongly recommend you look at this. And this program is for any small business with less than 500 employees, including sole proprietorships, independent contractors, and self-employed persons. So the one had to do with, that I said before, to keep staff on. They would give you money for that. And this one is for impact to your business. So that's for other stuff that impacts your business. So one is to keep your staff on, and the other one is just to help your business. So it helps you in two ways. And so again, it's for, like I said, it's independent contractors, self-employed persons, nonprofit organizations, veteran organizations. And again, it's going to take a little bit of time in terms of large institutions implementing some of this, but they're trying to race through this and get everyone funded and loaned as soon as possible. The next one is an SBA Express Bridge loan, and that enables small business who are currently having a business relationship with the SBA lender to access up to $25,000 quickly. So that's extremely important. And then there's another one, an SBA debt relief one. This is providing financial reprieve to small businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. And again, it's going to give you some relief if you have an SBA loan, so you won't have to pay it for a certain period of time. But with any of these, I would strongly, I can't say it enough, look into it no matter what it is. If you're a small business, if you're a sole proprietorship, if you're a contractor, even a contractor, you could do it. So it's very, very important that you do look into this. And there's a lot of information on the internet for it, so you could research it. You could also talk to your accountants about this. But it's something that's really could be beneficial and really not only tide you over during this tough time, but maybe accelerate growth. So that's one of the things that we're looking at, is even growing even faster in terms of our company, just based on certain programs and what we could do to even push our company faster and harder and make it grow bigger as a result of this. You know, one of the things that some people do is when there's tough times, they shrink. But I strongly encourage people to push through, and there's opportunity. Just you have to look at it, see what's going on, and see where you could make the biggest impact. Because there's an impact you could do. You know, for restaurants, it's going to be challenging. But again, if you create a niche and you create something that's unique, people will go to it. So I'd like to thank you very much for your time, and I wish everyone the best. God bless, take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye. This is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner for Templar Real Estate Enterprises and TemplarCashForHouses.com. Felt this is important, so I am recording this message from my home to all listeners. In this time of uncertainty and anxiety, my staff and I are here to help. We're here to provide private phone consultations free of charge. The first is for those individuals that feel they might eventually lose their house and need some advice on how to possibly save it. Second, as always, we're here for those that need to sell their house fast and need cash immediately. And the last, If you need steady or deferred income and you are looking for an alternative to the stock market, we can show you how to partner with us even in these uncertain times. You can reach us at 973-240-8593. That is 973-250-8593. Or sign up TemplarCanHelp.com. That is TEMPLAR canhelp.com. Thank you very much.
The preceding program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision.